So it's Friday night and I'm inside the house. School's done for all the kids. Next week's Christmas. Things are really slowing down. Long week, man. I'm going to say it was a long week. It was a tough week. There's a lot of changes at work. There were a lot of things that were out of my control. I had to be out of the office, just moving around. We had to give a big presentation today at police headquarters to, the big boss. So sitting in there with him for 3 hours, and let's just say, yeah, it's not relaxing. The day before I had some more stuff, some old homicide investigations are coming up into light. And again, I work at the training center with the police department, but there's always moving parts, okay? And this stuff is never gonna go away, right? There's always the number one constant on this job is change. So what I do, man, I'm tired, man. My body hurts. I'm tired. I've been doing judo. Judo was extra rough today. I've got the shoulder injury that I'm dealing with. I got out, full transparency. I was on this medication, and I'm tapering off of it, and I just finished. So it's been over a week. This was a 7-week process, and the side effects are absolutely brutal. I just had a lot of things compounding on me, and man, sometimes it just feels like you can't catch a break, right? Sometimes it feels like you can't catch your breath. But hey, newsflash, that's life. That's life. That's always going to be life, no matter what. If you've got a perfect life, especially as a man, if you've got a life free of incident, free of stress and anxiety, are you really living life, or are you existing in a bubble? Because part of the human experience, part of the masculine experience, right, is to be able to overcome adversity. You want to be sharp. You want to be honed. You want to be focused. You want to be strong. You need adversity in your life to keep you sharp. That's why those people, men and women, who live into their 80s, 90s, they become, they hit the 100 club. There's a few things that they're doing. There is a theme to what they do, have been doing, habits that they put. One of them is they were people that always worked and kept working and never stopped working. Never stopped working. Now, I'm not saying don't be a slave to your job for 100 years, right? Working, it can be interchanged. Keeping busy. You want to keep busy, and you want to be doing something that's worthwhile, right? The Japanese, I believe they call it ikigai. So it's just finding your purpose in this world and doing your job the best that you can do it, whatever it is, for the rest of your life till the very end. You hone your craft. Now, I'm not saying the Japanese have it a little different, right? If you're, let's just say you're hairstylist, or let's say you're a custodian, at a facility, you're janitor. Right? The Ikigai says that you need to hone that craft and be the best janitor that you can be for you, for your family, and for your community, for your society. The same goes with anything else, So today was a tough day. I'm tired. I'm completely out of it. And it's really easy to make a decision, right? It's Friday night. In a perfect world, I would love to be with my kids right now. But guess what, man? That's not reality. Right? I'm divorced. I have joint custody with my kids, and I just can't have instant access to my kids, unfortunately. So what do? You want to sit in the pity party? Oh, it's the holidays. I've got the whole weekend to myself. So the first thing that I want to do is just relax, right? I want to de-stress. And my reinvention in life, this constant change and self-improvement that I've been doing over the last years, it definitely came out of necessity, but it also came from a point where it's just like the life that I was living was empty. It was really empty, and I just didn't have a strong enough why, a strong enough purpose as to, why am I waking up every day? Why am I going to work? Why am I, getting to the gym and working out? I know I'm supposed to do it. I know it's healthy, but why, right? Why? So there's motivation, and what I like to say is, motivation is for boys, for kids, for juveniles. Purpose is for men, and purpose is the thing that's going to get you up at 6 in the morning after getting beat up at judo class, after working 12, 14 hours for 3 days straight, not having a break at work, getting deployed to protests and riots and civil disturbances, and then the very next day, getting a few hours of sleep, and you right back at it, right? Right back at it to your normal function on the job. And again, I'm just talking about the police department here. But what I really want to do, man, I just want to relax, right? I wanted to, okay, it's Friday. I got the weekend to myself. Well, what do I want to do? There's a lot of things that I could do. A lot of people would be jealous to be in my position because the city is my oyster. Okay, I can call somebody. I could be like, "Yo, what's up?" I don't know how I do this. Like, I'm kind of giving away my age, right? I call somebody and you call up the buddies. Hey, what are you doing? Let's go out. Call some friends. Just forget. Maybe have a few pops and just chill. But you have to ask yourself a few questions. Like, well, first of all, okay, well, overall, what am I doing in life? Well, I'm still in a phase of rebuilding. This is my third year of rebuilding myself, and it's been great. I built a business, taught myself how to build automations with AI. So it's a Friday night. I live in the city of Chicago. Granted, it's like 8 degrees outside, but where there's a will, there's a way, right? There's always something to do in the city. So, today was just rough. Today's Friday. It was just accumulation of the week. It was a heavy week. I came home. I'm in sleep debt, and I know it. I know I'm in sleep debt. My nutrition hasn't been the best the last few days. Ergo, I don't have the right energy to essentially sustain all of this stuff that I've been doing all day, like these activities, trying to maintain a certain baseline level of productivity, right? And when I say productivity, man, I don't mean like, dude, I gotta be productive all the time. I have to be doing, well, granted, I do have to be busy all the time because, left on my own devices, what am I gonna do? Right? I'm going to do things that aren't adding value to my life, that aren't adding value to my kids' life, they aren't adding value to the department that I work for, the city that I live in, the people within my circle, the people that potentially I have some influence over. Yeah, so I came home and I'm just like, I'm tired, my back hurts, I earned it. It was a hard week. Let me just YOLO. Let me YOLO tonight, and then maybe let me YOLO this weekend and see where the weekend takes me. Okay? It's hard because the mind starts thinking in terms of escapism, right? We're looking for something to get us out of the feeling, right? The state that we're in currently. And with, so when you go through kind of like a gauntlet for the week, if you're mentally fatigued, physically tired, you can throw emotionally and spiritually, right? You can throw all of that stuff, but eventually that stuff's going to compound on you. And the I don't give up is going to come out, right? You have to be aware of that. So what I do, and this is one of the best things that I could have ever done with this just journey of self-improvement, if you want to call it. And it's self-reflection. And I do it through journaling. Journaling is one of the most powerful tools that you can have, especially if you're, okay, yeah, I've kind of been known to be a lone wolf, right? I'm the kind of person that doesn't like to take handouts. I don't like getting help. I like to be able to do things myself. I like to be able to function, to be self-sufficient and function. I like to be able to, in the field, just be able to triage whatever the hell is going on and be able to suck it up and move on, right? Drive forward because the mission isn't done, right? So the journaling, right? So what exactly is it doing? Well, it's allowing you to, and I'm going to create a video. I'm going to get all into the benefits of journaling, but the thing, what it does is it puts life into perspective. And if I didn't have these tools to kind of start like, I'm feeling a certain way and there's a reason why I'm feeling like this today. Okay, so I can look back and reflect on everything that I've been documenting and come to a reasonable conclusion. Oh, that's right. I haven't slept. I haven't eaten all day today. I'm tired physically. I'm not giving my body enough protein, enough water. I haven't had time for self-care, right? For me, with self-care, I like going to the gym. That's self-care for me. I like going to steam room sauna, doing a cold plunge. That's self-care for me. I like to jump into my spiritual practice, right? And that hasn't been done. So if you document all of that stuff and you're able to reflect on it, you can be like, oh, Elvis, dude, this is why you're not feeling it. And for a person that, again, just does a lot of self-triaging, right? You can't, say you're a person that really relies on a multitude of people to help you with things, help you through problems. So you have like a mentor or a group of friends or family members that you like to ask questions, get their advice, run things by them. And by running it through another person that you trust, sometimes it backfires because the majority of the time we start opening up to people and asking for advice and feedback, but you're asking the wrong person, man. I think it's just a kind of an opportunity of convenience to be able to just trauma dump on somebody. Well, not trauma dump, but dump your woes and problems on somebody. But this is the thing, they're not going to be around 24/7, right? Let's just say you're going through something at 2-3 in the morning. You're not going to have that person that you can call. They're probably sleeping. They got a life too. When you have things that are moving, so you have a really fluid situation that you're dealing with, you just can't take that time to boom, get on the phone and call somebody and just start asking for, hey, what do I do? This is what's going on. Nah, man. You have to be able to be self-sufficient. You have to be able to be reliant on yourself. And one of the best things, again, it's one of the best tools that I've ever used is journaling and this ability to be able to reflect. And because of that, I made some good decisions today, man. I was tired. I came home, I took a nap. And guess what? Maybe I set the timer for 30 minutes. Dude, I needed a few hours of sleep. Okay? So now I wake up and I'm just like kind of looking around. And first thing is, you can't feel guilty about it, right? You're in a sleep debt. Your body's asking you for something, right? Your body's the greatest indicator of what's going on. If your system is stressed out, your body's going to tell you. Your system's going to tell you. It's going to induce a headache. It's going to induce a high blood pressure if you're prone to that. It's going to induce anxiety, right? It's a very powerful tool. So you have to be very observant about what's going on. And again, that just comes with practice and that comes with habits. And for me, this stuff didn't happen overnight. So now I wake up and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Right? I love caffeine. I'm addicted to caffeine. But if I start drinking caffeine at night, boom, I'm gonna be up until 3-4 in the morning. We've gone down that we've gone to that rodeo many, many, many times. And nothing good comes out of that, being wide awake, wired at 2-3 in the morning. So what's the other option? So it's a Friday night. I can go out. I can go out with my buddies. I can go have a good time tonight, right? But you have to remember like what season you're in your life. Okay? If you're building, if you've got projects to do, if you're behind on things, do you think it's a good idea to go out with your friends? Do you think it's an idea to go out and kind of, no, man, no, it's not. You should be getting some stuff down, but you got to do it in a healthy way where you're not like pushing yourself too hard, because I've learned the other way, right? There's extremes to life. And, there's some people that are just wired where you're either at 0 or we're at 100. And especially for first responders, law enforcement, prior service, military veterans, and, in the private sector, any, work in the medical field, in emergency trauma. We can even go to the business finance world, just, real pressured entrepreneurs and high level executive CEOs that are always under pressure, right? There's a common theme that all of these professions have, because it attracts a certain type of person, right? We either go from 0 or 100. And balance, man, that's just something that's not in our vocabulary. But, you practice, right? You have the awareness of it. So yeah, so I woke up and I gave myself a little grace. I woke up, I did a little scrolling, watched little videos on Instagram, YouTube, and just really just allowed myself that time to just be, right? To just kind of like shut the brain down a little bit. And now I'm just like, I'm focused, man. I'm all right, I want to get to sleep at a normal time. There's stuff that I'm working on. There's projects that I'm working on. There's my business that I want to, that needs attention. There's always something to do. Let's plan the weekend. Let's get things done, right? We normally don't get these kinds of weekends, a full Friday, Saturday, Sunday off for me, right? As a divorced father of two in a very high stress job that's constantly canceling our days off, that has a pattern of continuously canceling our days off last minute. This is a blessing, right? It's a blessing. So having this weekend is something that I just can't waste. And it's like the mentality in your 20s where like what a weekend was, even in your 30s to your 40s, right? I'm 40, and just understanding how valuable this time is and coming to that realization, you're more, you're at the halfway point in life, right? Life's too short, man. Life's too short to be effing around. And if you've really got some big goals in life, if you've got things that you're trying to do, if you've got, if you're in going through reinvention and you just have a vision of what you want your life to be, because brothers and sisters, you can design your life any way that you want. If you have an imagination and you have a will and a determination to do it, and if your why is strong enough and your purpose is there, you got your mission statement, you're like, you know what you want your ideal life to look like. You can design your life exactly the way you want, regardless of your situation, regardless of your environment, regardless of being divorced, not divorced, being in a very demanding job, being in in a marriage, a relationship, not being in a relationship, having financial struggles, not having financial struggles, right? Having health issues. Where there is a will, there's a way. I'm going to repeat this again. You can design your life exactly the way you want. Exactly the way you want. But it's just a matter of how much you want to put into it, right? And this is just like this is an example tonight, right? It's a Friday night and I want to put into it because I've got a life that right now I'm super happy with my life. I mean, things are great. Things are wonderful, and there's not too much to complain about, except that I just want to get to my goals faster. So my why gets me from, escapism through whatever, through distractions, through food, and then not feeling well the next day, to here I am filming this video on a Friday night and about to get that computer working. So that's it.